Andres Reacts, where today we're jumping into a new show. This show is called Killer Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez. That's right, guys. So I was very young when all of this was happening. What was this? This was documented in 2020. So I don't remember how old I was, but I think because one, I didn't watch football, and two, I knew of him passing by. I think I knew about him more once he was arrested. That's when I first heard of him. And I remember saying he was really attractive, and then I was like, oh, he's a murderer. Then he went to jail, and he wasn't in jail long before he, ended his life, sadly. But he was going to spend the rest of his life in jail regardless. But he was not there. I don't think he was there long, right? He was there for maybe a few months. Regardless, we're going to get, I try to read on this story when everything was happening, right? And it was just super confusing for me. I don't really understand it, so maybe this documentary will help me do just that. Now, while you guys are taking off your jackets, your shoes, and getting comfortable, hi-de-ho, Winslow, please like the video, share the video, comment down below, y'all. Also, there is a link to Patreon where you guys can see this in a full reaction, as well as a link to my other YouTube channel, Andres Array. Please go over there and subscribe. And if you are not subscribed here, why the hell not? Now we're going to do more of these type of shows on this platform, but I'm also going to mix it up and do stuff that is lighthearted. So, a lot on my other channels is movies and TV show reactions, where this would generally fall in the place of that, but I'm kind of separating that platform, and so we'll do this here. But I will also possibly watch movies, a lighter movie over there, and then I'll probably just share it on both platforms, as well as doing other content, which is music reactions over here. And I want to do TikTok and funny things as well. So we're going to have the balance over here, just something real short, music reactions mixed with stuff like this, body cams, and just maybe court cases, stuff, just random stuff. It's going to be on this channel. So please, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, subscribe. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are a new channel over here. So thank you so much for supporting it. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the killer inside the mind of Aaron Hernandez and find out exactly what this show has got to give.
How were you going to get home from the gym?
I was gonna run.
Run?
Recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize that to be?
The man I discovered.
It's tight end Aaron Hernandez has been questioned in connection with what is now a homicide investigation.
27-year-old Boston man was found in an industrial park.
Patriots organization released a statement saying as long as there is a police investigation going on, they won't further comment.
Drafted in 2010, Aaron Hernandez made a splash in the NFL.
Hernandez is not a suspect, but that a car rented in his name could be a key source of evidence.
The victim has now been identified here as Odin Lloyd.
They have no idea why anyone would do him harm. They are in complete shock.
27-year-old was dating the sister of Hernandez's girlfriend.
Apparently, the house was scrubbed clean, according to the reports that we're hearing this morning. Broken cell phone.
Ooh.
These are live pictures from the news choppers outside Boston. Aaron Carr is a New England Patriots football player who may soon become a murder suspect.
Oh my God,
Can you just tell us what happened?
He then headed to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
He showed up at the house of Aaron Hernandez this morning and took the Bristol, Connecticut native away in handcuffs.
Tonight he is the defendant in a murder case.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, it's his daughter?
When I talk to my lawyers, as long as you have a case, if you have a baby with someone, you're allowed a one-time visit every now and then. Mommy be a bad girl.
Anything wrong.
Sad.
He's 23 years old at the time that he's let out of his house in handcuffs.
He looks older.
First question that popped into my head was, who's Aaron Hernandez?
Right.
I basically started scouring online. A football player who had nearly won the Super Bowl for the Patriots just the year before.
Aaron was not your typical inmate at the Bristol County House of Corrections. He was going to get some attention, dramatic attention from the sheriff and all of the guards.
He's not going to be treated any better, any worse than anybody here.
That's a huge badge.
Prison officials put him on suicide watch, as they do with any person like Aaron. Inevitably, that person breaks down.
I always walk to my door, turn, and look the opposite way, and just look how perfect my cell is.
Aaron Hernandez went from a 7,100 square foot mansion to a 7 by 10 foot jail cell.
Attitude was, I'm here, I get 3 meals a day. I don't have to have people rely on me anymore.
What books am I going to be sending you, Aaron?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
He wrecked in a cage, an 8 by 12 cage, a place where he could get fresh air. He often spoke of the fact that he wasn't in jail. He was in training camp.
There are some people sitting around the league saying, I told you so when Hernandez was drafted.
As the coach of the team, I'm primarily responsible for the people that we bring into the football operation. I can tell you that we look at every player's history from the moment we start discussing it. We evaluate his performance, his intelligence, his work ethic, and we try to project that into our organization.
He never did this. It's a conspiracy. This gang set him up, this gang set him up, this. Obviously, when you've grown up with someone, you don't want to believe any of this stuff.
None of it makes sense. And nobody can figure out why.
Bristol Central High School is a typical American high school, perched up on a hill. It overlooks the city.
Wow.
I'm Aaron Hernandez from Bristol, Connecticut. I play at Bristol Central High School.
He was great at what he did. He always walked around with a smile on his face.
Both the same. He has dimples. We're both cheesy.
They look alike.
Happy. He liked to make fun of himself, is what I'm getting at. He'd do anything to just get someone to chuckle at him.
He was playing on basketball teams 2 and 3 years older. He was very gifted on the track and field.
Wow, he played all sports.
My father played quarterback at Bristol Central. He used to throw that film on for us to me, Aaron, and DJ, and it was cool to watch that. My mom wanted to speak to Dennis Hernandez first.
Dennis Hernandez.
To kind of put my mom at ease.
Aaron's father, Dennis, became known in town when he was a star athlete in the 1970s. Hernandez, they were a Yukon family. Their dog was named Yukon.
Is that true? People called him the king, or was he just known as?
Oh, he was the king. Aaron really aspired to be
He looked just like his father.
Yeah, he's very hard. I mean, we work all summer. If I drop a ball, it's 100 push-ups.
The minute we stepped on the football field together, it was the 2 best players.
Now they're best friends. Who's the brother? Or was that the brother?
Aaron was Albert Einstein when it came to X's and O's.
It was before the tattoos, before anything. He was the biggest, baddest thing in Connecticut. During one game, he gets knocked out cold. He needed the EMTs to carry him off.
When Aaron was 14 years old, he had just started to hit puberty, and he went to Yukon camp, and he absolutely dominated. So excited to just have a scholarship offer just from doing what he loves to do. He went, I'll go to Yukon.
Oh, it's the older brother.
Yukon was actually making the smart move of trying to attract a recruit early with family ties.
Hernandez family in the Bristol community was known as a sports family.
He was our king, he was our leader, and it's just, that was our dad, and he would come home, and if it wasn't a good day, you felt it.
Mom went through a real lot with my father, but she loved someone, she just always sticks by me. And my dad put it through hell.
Aaron's brother, DJ, writes about a night when Dennis came home drunk. He responded by smashing her head against the sink until she lost consciousness.
Oh my God.
I don't think there was many people really coming over there telling him what to do.
I've followed Aaron Hernandez since he was a U.S. Army All-American in high school. Watched him in college from afar, interacted with him in the locker room when he was with the New England Patriots. The portrait of somebody who has a dual personality. Was this something that could have been fixed by people who had authority over him?
My eyes are shaking.
I had to tell you to calm down. I'm not allowed to beat somebody, man.
You sound like you're getting ready to cry.
I can't stop, my knees are shaking like crazy right now.
It was an argument about a game?
Yeah.
Really, Aaron?
Yeah.
You care too much of what people think about you.
What has nothing to do about that?
You sit there and you take it to the extreme.
Reporters have been asking questions about Aaron Hernandez, who is no longer on the team.
At some point you have to move forward, and I think we as a team are doing that. Not to comment on the ongoing legal investigation, and so I'm not going to comment further. Part of mine is listening to instruction. We've been told not to talk about it, so.
Odin was a good person, good friend, funny. He had your back.
Pro football player was found shot to death in an execution-style murder.
Never really seen so much media descend on one trial as I did in this case.
Murder in the first degree, obviously not guilty.
To believe a guy in this position could be involved in something like this.
Love you! How do you love a murderer?
Yeah, right? Teenage girls at Patriot Place by Gillette Stadium who start posing like this. Hernandez goes from, being a tight end to being the murderer.
The games won't be the same again without him. Well, I believe he's innocent, so I'm going to support him.
No, it's not the case.
Lined up by the hundreds today to exchange the jerseys they once wore in allegiance to number 81.
Sucks because my name is Luis Hernandez, which now I can't even wear that jersey no more.
I just knew him to be a fiery guy, competitive guy, funny.
When you are starting off covering this, you want to find out the facts.
Prosecutors maintain he conspired with 2 of his friends from Bristol.
To murder after the fact in the killing of Aaron Hernandez's friend, Odin Lloyd.
The night Odin Lloyd was killed, Ortiz, Hernandez, and Wallace were allegedly in a vehicle with Lloyd.
Not a hardcore crew that he put together. These were guys that were trying to hang on with Aaron Hernandez.
The right-hand man to Hernandez and a frequent overnight visitor.
I understand if he would have been convicted of murder in the first degree, the sentence the judge would be required to impose his life in prison.
Tanya Singleton is Aaron Hernandez's cousin.
Prosecutors say Singleton tried to help both men get away after Lloyd's death.
Tanya Singleton was probably one of the people closest to Aaron Hernandez. Became someone who knew a lot about what had happened in the days following Odin Lloyd's death.
Breaking the law by refusing to testify against the former football star.
She chose family loyalty, family love over sympathy.
Tanya Singleton, I believe, was probably the most loyal person to Aaron Hernandez throughout this entire case.
God is with me every step of the way.
Yes, he is.
There ain't no greater doctor than him. He's gonna take the cancer away, and I'm gonna be here to raise my boys.
You gonna be here for me, because I can't live without you. Don't be hard.
He was protected. We never thought we might have to protect the other inmates from him. Periodically yelling down through the vent or what have you to him. And that inmate happened to be being taken out in restraint. And when he got to the bottom of the steps, Aaron Hernandez, who was out at the point the person reached the bottom and assaulted.
You melt my heart every time I hear you talk.
So, Daddy, what's this Santa say? Did you hear? Ordered our Christmas cards like I do every year. Put just her on it. Which I think I'm just going to start doing that until we're like a family.
We're watching a Pats game, sorry. I am too as we speak. I don't know. Thinking about it makes you sad. Yeah.
This trial took place before, during, and after the Patriots Super Bowl run. This is the one building in the region of New England where none of that was allowed.
Aaron Hernandez was an extremely popular player, so she had to take those precautions.
Ms. Hernandez, what messages do you have for your son? Do you have any messages for your son, Mrs. Hernandez?
Yes, Merry Christmas. I want to go in the beginning so they know I support you, and then I'll have to watch it on TV.
Honorable, the Justice E. Susan Gosh of the Superior Court.
He's saying
Session, be seated, please.
I am not going to forbid you from watching the Super Bowl game to avoid anything that has anything to do with this case, or Mr. Hernandez.
The evidence will show that Aaron Hernandez did not murder his friend Odin Lloyd.
Did the state really have enough evidence to be able to convict him in this case?
Ladies and gentlemen, on June
it's a family.
16th of 2013, he told Odin Lloyd that he, the defendant, Aaron Hernandez, was going to come up to his house that night. He also texted 2 of his friends who were then in Connecticut with the defendant driving the vehicle. The 3 of them picked up Odin Lloyd after 2:30 in the morning.
Damn.
For whatever reason, Odin sensed trouble with Aaron Hernandez. He texts his sister, do you know who I'm with? NFL, just so you know.
Drove to a secluded, isolated area in North Attleboro. There, Odin Lloyd was shot 6 times. 1 in his right flank, 2 in his back, shot as if he was crouching down.
My Lord.
Odin Lloyd had gunshot wounds to his chest.
Is it difficult to describe Odin to someone who had not met him before? What words would you use?
Brother.
He was 27 years old.
Wow.
He was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands. At the time of his death, the Dorchester section of the city of Boston with his mother and his 2 sisters.
The initial, stories about Odin Lloyd were rather superficial. We didn't really know much about him.
We was coming up as kids back in the 80s and 90s. The number 1 rule is either you a customer or you a hustler. You ain't selling it, then you helping the drug dealers. You going to the store for them. You're doing things that they can't do because they can't leave the block. Coach Mike Branch out the way, put us all together and just use football to connect.
We pay tribute to a fallen teammate, brother, and friend.
If you need something, please call on us, and we'll be offended if you don't call on us. We love them. He's like a little brother to me. We both played the same position, outside linebacker, so me and him would talk hours and hours after practice. It almost was like he was modeling his life
have kids, get a good job.
I'm gonna miss just him being a big brother. He did everything that a big brother would do.
Odin was our celebrity. Hernandez was nobody to us, so the way we look at it is different. Odin had everything. Odin was rich, Hernandez was poor, because if Hernandez was as rich as Odin with love and care, he would have never been in those positions.
We went to the movies, and he was a perfect gentleman. Half of me is missing. I'm not whole without him.
Shania Jenkins, girlfriend of Odin Lloyd, to the left was Cheyenne Jenkins, fiance of Aaron Hernandez.
They were sisters?
Shania, is she older than you are?
Younger.
Are you close as sisters?
I mean, we've strange, kind of.
Cheyenne had moved to North Attleboro with Aaron. Shania was dating Odin Lloyd. When it came time to choose your sister or your fiance, Cheyenne stuck with Aaron Hernandez.
How were you awakened?
Right, phone call.
And approximately how long did that call last? Did you learn something at that time?
Yes.
And what did you learn?
That Odin was dead.
Shania Jenkins and Cheyenne hugging each other. This was right after Shania had found out that her boyfriend had been killed.
Aaron was accused of murdering her sister's boyfriend, and yet she never wavered with Aaron.
And they left Odin Lloyd there. They left evidence at the scene, and they tried to, and in some cases were successful in destroying it.
Security system had been destroyed.
He erases some security tape, but not all of it.
Police got suspicious after learning some information from, of all people, the sister of Hernandez's fiancé.
Nothing, Aaron. I was involved in a search warrant again today. That's what I did today. I wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for you. I'm sitting here and I'm keeping him still.
All right, well, you still have your freedom. What are you stressing about?
Whatever.
The person you called has hung up.
It shows he, Ortiz, and Wallace pulling up to their house just after the murder. That videotape shows him walking around his house holding what looks like a gun.
I can't see the full item. It's not depicted here, so.
Prosecution feels like it has a very strong case, but there is one issue remaining. They do not have the murder weapon.
Did the fiancé of fallen football star Aaron Hernandez help him hide a murder weapon? Try to find a .45 caliber gun used to kill Odin Lloyd on Father's Day. Go in the back of the screen in the movie room. There is a box just in case you were looking for it. And allegedly inside of that bag was a rigid object the size of a gun lockbox.
Did you do anything with the box that was in the bag that was in the trunk of the car?
I did.
And what did you do with it?
I disposed of it. I'm in a dumpster.
And where was the dumpster?
I don't know.
Just in fairness, there's certain things you remember and other things you don't.
Yes.
No matter what she said, they weren't going to believe much of it because she doesn't seem credible.
In high school, we had a couple classes together, so our relationship kind of evolved. Talk a lot more, pass notes back and forth, talk on the phone.
We came over and we smoked 2 blunts. We used to horseplay, that was our thing. We used to love horseplaying and having fun with each other. Aaron and I had an on and off relationship from the 7th grade to the junior year of high school. I was a small piece of Aaron's sexual activity. I'll be honest with that we continued because we probably enjoyed it. Yes, we were in a relationship back then, but at the time, you don't look at it like that. I used to feel like, golly, like, what a homo. Like, here I am, the football player. I was in such denial. You mean to tell me that the quarterback and the tight end is gay? It doesn't sit right within our own stomach at that time. Dude, if we get caught, like, it's ruined. Like, our parents are gonna disown us.
If I told you that I didn't want both of my sons to be heterosexual, I'd be lying to you. I was homophobic just as much as Mr. Hernandez was.
There was a time Aaron, inspired by his female cousins, wanted to become a cheerleader. Dennis Hernandez put an end to that very quickly.
I better be good right now. Like, he knew he had to be on a different set of behavior around his father. We had to hide what we were.
Wow.
People, especially in my town, would never look at a masculine football player and think he's gay. Made me realize I had to suppress that as much as possible. Hitting each other, all these things that you would assume middle America wouldn't think of a gay man. I don't think anyone ever thought twice that I could have been gay.
You got some flamboyant faggots walking around.
Well, they want you.
And people talk to them, like, what the fuck you talking to them for?
Well, that's who they are. What are you going to do?
Like, overly done, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. They really think they're women.
Gay man, a beard would be the female you date as a cover. I think Aaron, for instance, had the girl that he had the baby with. A lot of gay guys go that route. It's unfortunate and it's sad that the extremes that some people feel they have to go through.
High school, did his dad died. You recall that he died while he was having surgery in the hospital.
It wasn't something slow coming. I mean, this was routine hernia surgery that he came out dead. Pick him up, and we kind of just drove aimlessly through all of Bristol and the surrounding cities. You know, there really wasn't even a lot of conversation. It was, you know, just being there for him.
When the news came that Dennis Hernandez had passed away, it was an absolute utter shock.
When I saw him at the wake, it was like looking into a new person's eyes. Something had changed.
This is not good. Aaron is not gonna take this well at all.
When Dennis was there, you know, Aaron mirrored him. You know, and that's where you get a lot of those similarities.
Nothing dishonorable about your father passing away, right? Would have been nice if he had a mother that could have mourned with him. Engage in a relationship with Tanya's husband, family member's husband, and he goes then to live in Aaron's house. See some other dude making bacon in his underwear in your house.
You made decisions that you don't like, that are the worst. I was the happiest fucking little kid in the world, and you fucked me up. And I just lost my father. If I was with you right now, I would have probably punched the shit out of you. Like, I don't even know why you bring me to this level.
Did that have on Aaron's relationship with Tanya?
It brought them closer.
Now goes to spend most of his time over there at the cousin's house.
Over at Tanya's house, there was more partying, there was more smoking.
At 114 Lake Avenue, Aaron meets Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace.
Did you know Ernest Wallace and Carlos Ortiz to use any drugs?
Yes, marijuana. They would smoke what you call like a blunt filled with PCP.
We learned the police were searching the house of Aaron's cousin, Tanya Singleton. The police are seen loading up a silver SUV been looking for in connection with an unsolved double murder case.
Zafiro Furtado and Daniel Diabreu were hardworking immigrants from Cape Verde. They worked 2 jobs. They had been found shot and killed outside of a nightclub in the Theater District of Boston.
Witnesses remember seeing a silver SUV speeding away from the scene.
Aaron Hernandez's cousin's garage, hidden, covered with cobwebs, hadn't been used in a year.
Charging Aaron Hernandez with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Aaron Hernandez then fired a .38 caliber revolver multiple times.
This double murder that Hernandez is now indicted for happened in July of 2012. He signed a 5-year, $40 million contract with the Patriots.
Would have shot and killed 2 men in Boston, then went on to play a whole season of football.
Well, so obviously this is a very serious documentary, and that's why literally, like, I just don't, you won't see me joking. I really won't be talking much through it other than a few 1s to the 2s, just because I'm trying to dive deep into the story and try to figure out what the holy hell is going on. I find it very interesting how they just throw in that Aaron Hernandez was messing around with his lifelong friend. And because at first we were talking about the girlfriend. It took me a minute to realize, if you guys don't know, I have ADD child. So my mind was over here and they were over here. And then when I finally got over here, it was already like 30 minutes in. So it took me a while to realize that Aaron Hernandez's wife, fiance, his wife, they did say that, it just took me a minute. But the fiance's sister was the victim's girlfriend or something like that. And like they're on 2 different sides and they're no longer talking. And you could see the difference in the fiance and then the sister, how they dress, their demeanor, the way they look, just everything. And you know, if the fiance, you know, sided with the sister, maybe she was kind of more scared of losing the life she lived, because, you know, that does, you know, a lot of people, once they get into this famous life, you know, they don't want to ever let go. So that could be a probability, and she had a child with him. Also, I find it interesting, just the whole dynamic with Aaron Hernandez being a down low brother, allegedly. Because I do know that I that's something that I did read about, that like this guy who's his lifetime friend, and then I remember somewhere where I was reading where they were saying like that they believe that they're lying, and I thought that they said this Odin person also was a DL man, but I did not know that I thought it was like Aaron Hernandez was convicted of 1 murder. I didn't know that he allegedly killed 2 other people 5 years prior. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what I read. Like that Odin was Odin. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I thought that Odin was with Aaron, who killed the other 2 people, and then Aaron killed Odin so it wouldn't get out. I could be wrong. So I guess I'll just have to wait till they dive deep in it. This is a very deep story. Like, we're going back and forth in time and getting deep into his life, which is a documentary. That's what happens. And also his mother, a few months later, slept with his cousin's husband and then got with him, or boyfriend, whichever it is. And all of this, him being a young kid. I remember my father dying, and he was supposed to have a regular surgery as well. And he died. And Aaron Hernandez said he was 16, right? They said he was 16. Was I 16? I was in 9th grade. It's very interesting this when I hear stuff and I'm like, oh my God, my life was kind of similar. Where, you know, at one time I lived in a little, you know, it could be considered, not really, compared to where I live now, in the city, New York City, when it's rough and it's tough, a rough and tough neighborhood, you know it's rough and tough. But where I'm from, that neighborhood, I think it got better now, but in a time it was a little rough and tough. Like, we had like drug dealers, we had fights, there was crazy stuff happening when I was younger with like neighbors and guns. Like, it was insane. But when my father died, I was in 9th grade. I was also not out the closet, and I also was very angry. I was a very angry kid. Like, I was just like how they said Aaron Hernandez. I would always make people laugh and stuff like that, but there was another side of me where I was just so angry. And I would go to drinking, and possibly Aaron Hernandez was doing drugs because he stayed with a cousin. But I was drinking. Not only, you know, I lost my father, but I was displaced because I was in high school, and I felt, and also like discovering that I am gay. I didn't say anything. So all of that like led to so much anger. I used to fight. I got arrested. Like, and this is just me being honest and open. But I didn't do nothing like this. I was just sleeping. You know, it's crazy. Honestly, to let you guys know, one thing I know and 2 things are certain. A lot of men who, I can't speak for women, how they come out, their coming out process. But I know a lot of men, especially since Aaron Hernandez, you know, being a minority, you know, and Aaron Hernandez his father was first generation, right? And my mom is first generation. So also having that, people not from this country who might have a different mindset, also, you know, you don't want to, and being gay, you kind of like, you're scared being a man, right? Coming out. So it's hard. I related to that fact and all his anger, and when he was saying like, you fucked my life up. I mean, my mom was a great mom. Is a great mom. But it is a process. So that was really sad and interesting at the same time. There was parts of this that I actually wanted to cry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I actually felt extremely sad at certain parts, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to watch this. I was like, I really got like depressed. This is actually very depressing. And only thing Aaron Hernandez is a very attractive man, right? Very attractive man. And with him being attractive, being a celebrity, being young, it overshadowed the person who was murdered. Like, I don't remember the person who was, I'm gonna be honest, when people say Aaron Hernandez and they'll show me a picture, if they show me a picture, I'm like, yeah. But like the deaths of these other 3 people, I knew nothing of. Like, I don't know. And it's really sad that happens like that. And it also happens in any like high murder cases. You always hear about the person who's the murderer. That's why a lot of times now the news doesn't show the murderer. Generally, they try not to, at least when I watch my MSNBC, honey, because they don't want to shine light on the murderer. They want and give attention to the murderer because that's what honestly the murderer wants. They shine light on all the victims, and you know, I agree with that. Aaron Hernandez had, it seems, a tough life, but that does not excuse you for falling down and killing people or doing stuff like this. And it's crazy that, you know, possibly if he destroyed the tapes, maybe he would have still been a free man. You know what? If he did kill those 2 other people, he felt like he could get away with it. And then he got a $40 million contract for the New England Patriots, or was it $400 million? I think it was $40 million. So he really he felt like he was above the world. Now, was the sister also involved because she got rid of the evidence? Was she arrested? I don't know this story. But if she knew about what Aaron did and then threw out the murder weapon or whatever the holy hell she did, because she admitted she threw out the gun case. Why else would she throw it out? She would be arrested as well. So there are many charges she could face. I don't know the story of what happened, but it's sad. It's very sad. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. It's very, very effing sad. Anyways, guys, please, while you guys are picking up your jackets, the tissues that you guys probably are using to cry, sorry, I didn't have any. Please hit the like button, share. Don't forget to comment down below. Subscribe here in case you guys are not subscribed, and subscribe to my other platform. All the links are down below. Please join Patreon to help support the channel and to be able to see this in a full reaction. There are, I think, 3 more episodes of this. 2 more episodes, but very short. After these 2 episodes, on the 3rd episode, I will obviously ask for suggestions to jump into other documentaries such as this. I obviously will be breaking this up with other reactions because this stuff is really dark and heavy, and it always takes a toll on me. So I can't watch that back to back. I can't. But I will ask. I also have to wrap up the Jeffrey Dahmer, which I did film on my other channel, and the other documentary with the Night Stalker that I have. So those 2 are going to drop. I already filmed them a while ago, but they were so good that I brought it to this channel just in case you guys were not familiar with my other reactions. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. And I think I'm done. I have nothing else to say. I'll see you all next time with more reactions. Bye.